We're off to see the wizard. We've got comic books on the screen. We've got the new Kickstarter. I was above 17 today, but then some jerk off dropped me back below 17. I'm a $20,000 man. The life I've grown accustomed to. Cheap liquor and fast women. All right, we got a script to do. 2 pages every day. We are all the way up to page 14, I think we're on. Yeah, so today we're doing 15 and 16. We'll be looking through Amazing Spider-Man 16, Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1. We skipped ahead a bit to get some more insight on Kraven. In our pages here, we have killed Peter's parents. We have introduced the spider into his life. This is our AracKnight script. And, like I said, I've already ordered the first cover for the AracKnight, the strip poker cover, which is going to be Liz Allen, Mary Jane Watson, and Betty Brant playing strip poker in a very hot retro 60s slumber party theme. We've killed Peter's parents. We've revealed his powers. We've shown him angst-ridden as a teenager. He puts a kid in the hospital for screwing with him. He doesn't know his powers. He's got all this anger. He travels the world. Then he finds out, when he's working with a treasure salvage crew, the crew is taken out. He's left for dead, floating amongst the water and debris and carcasses. He gets sucked through an Atlantean current, washes up along the shores of the savage land where Kraven takes him in. And now, where we've left off, Kraven has revealed that he's been hunting him for a while. He's the one that turned the pirates onto the salvage crew. He wanted Peter to get Peter alone, get him isolated, to get him on his own. He's been stalking Peter for some time. He's saying how he's aging, and that whatever the potions he's been taking here at the Savage Land are no longer working on him. He wants to harvest Peter. I was going to originally say he was harvesting Peter for the Sinister Six, but then I said, that's too cheesy. He's beyond his own. He's doing his own thing. Maybe he's left them. We don't really get into it. We don't need to get into it. Kraven has mentored Peter a little bit, showing him some ropes. Quite literally, showing him how to swing around in the jungle, like Tarzan. But of course, Kraven, like everybody else, is using him. But this time, Peter doesn't just get angry, because apparently in these first 13 pages, everybody's just kind of fucking with Peter Parker here. And he's been getting angry about it. But he wants to know who killed his parents. Kraven, of course, gives him a little bit of insight, but doesn't give him the whole answer. They're about to come up on some tribe. Peter thinks they're going to attack it or steal it, or he's kind of tricking Peter into thinking these are the people that killed your parents or led to it. Peter gets in there. Kraven hits him with a little paralyzing toxin. His senses are all clouded because he's in there with all the mists and steam kind of taking him over. He's in a sweat lodge. He's tied up by Kraven. Kraven's planning to cut his ass open, drain him into this fucking boiling cauldron. Peter starts getting all wise ass, and he starts kind of fucking with him. We get some of that wise ass Peter because Peter realizes he's got to get his strength back. His healing factor's got to kick in. The casualties of war, Peter. We are knights bound to aid in each other's evolution. I am the hunter, and you are defeated. I have hunted and harvested every predator known to man. I have swallowed their hearts. I have consumed their souls. And now, Peter, I ask you to make that sacrifice. And if it doesn't work, another casualty of war then. Kraven's at war with death. He wants to be immortal. Quite simple. So then Peter starts fucking with him. Why not work out an installment plan? There's plenty of blood and organs to go around. All we need is a freezer and some patience. Your levity in this current position has earned my respect. You are a brave knight. Now, old man, I'm just stalling. And you're no knight. You're just a cheap shot artist. Another bully in the schoolyard. The guilt over your parents led you to this trap. Which is Kraven basically saying, no, motherfucker, I set up a trap, you walked right into it. I am a true hunter. Peter answers with, my anger outweighs my guilt. My anger is what makes me powerful. And you're out of time. Peter breaks out of his restraints. Kraven screams, no! We pan to the outside of the hut as the steam is erupting from every corner as we see it collapsing in an explosion of steam and escaping tribesmen. Oddly enough, it was in this moment that I finally understood I was truly gifted and not cursed. And that's what finally killed my fear. Peter swings away with a steam trail coming right behind him. It was in that moment that I finally wanted to come home. I just had one more loose end. So now Peter, on pages 15 and 16, which again will be the end of our second act, in terms of math and layout and equation. So we will probably kill Kraven in page 15, 16 here, giving Peter enough resolve to transition to him going home and going to see Ben. starting his life over as the AracKnight. All right, let's go to some comic books here. Let's get some inspiration. We have done our layout for pages 15 and 16 about Peter fighting Craven. Let's look at our layout real quick before we look at some comic books. Swinging through the vines, Craven will of course catch up and spear tackle Peter. They will be tumbling into the center of a stampede. Craven will be trampled while Peter escapes. They will come towards a cliff edge and fight down the edge even over the cliff. They can fall together, where Craven will break Peter's fall, and in the process break his neck or back. Peter will give Craven the chance at a knight's death or leave him here to the predators. It would be poetic, wouldn't it? The hunter finally hunted down. Helpless, I'll give you a knight's death, a warrior's death. Good. I like this. All right. Now, in Amazing Spider-Man 16, Peter takes on the Ringmaster, who, of course, will manipulate a situation where Peter will fight Daredevil. Essentially, they were using Amazing Spider-Man 16 to give Daredevil the rub, saying, look, motherfuckers, we got another superhero in a stupid-looking yellow outfit. But, of course, we get to admire the lovely art of Steve Ditko, the writing of Stan Lee, and a cavalcade of events. All right. They're changing up Peter's haircut a little bit. Aunt May's pushing this Mary Jane Watson on him. So again, in our first superhero strip poker cover for our AracKnight comic book, we'll have a superhero strip poker. Liz Allen, Betty Brant, Mary Jane Watson, the three first loves of Peter's life. Although chronologically, Gwen Stacy was introduced before Mary Jane. Mary Jane pops up in side outs and behind fucking objects and shit. She doesn't make her fully first appearance until 42, but who the fuck you care? Let's do this shit. All right. Good old Aunt May. She means well, bless her, but sometimes I think I'll pop my cork if I can't stop her from nagging. Spider-Man swinging around the city. He sees a bunch of people. All of a sudden, but he sees Blind Man Daredevil whipping some ass. Oh, no, he doesn't whip anybody's ass. They're just giving Spider-Man the rub. Let Spider-Man whip some ass. Well, he says, hey, Blind Man, do you think? And the idea is that he says, well, it's okay. Judging by the sound and pulse of his heartbeats in excellent health. I'd say that was Spider-Man. I'd say he's about 17, 5 foot 10 inches. All right, well, I'm 5 foot 11, so I'm about the same size as Spider-Man. All right. He rips out the Daredevil costume. Of course, this is before they changed it into red. I'm not sure what the fuck they were thinking with this stupid-ass looking yellow costume. I always thought it was cheesy. Karen and Foggy. Now, again, I gotta start reading some Daredevil. I don't think I remember really reading too much of the early stuff. He's got his radar senses. This is them. This is their in-house commercial for Daredevil. Attorney at law. Karen Page. Foggy Nelson. You notice that every girl in the Steve Ditko comic books has the same stupid fucking beehive hairdo. How the hell do we make that sexy? Anyway, they go into the circus. Karen Page is upset. She's like, why the hell would Daredevil enjoy being in the fucking circus? Because he's blind and he can't see nothing. Now again, they're also giving the rub to the Hulk here. Ever since the Hulk defeated me months ago, I planned this one spectacular performance to outdo anything we've ever done in the past. From the Hulk magazine, now discontinued. So they stopped doing Hulk and they moved Hulk over to Tales to Astonish because I think he made it 6 issues. And they kind of put him in as a side out. He was doing good as a side out, so he got his issues back. And instead of just renumbering it, they just took it, Tales to Astonish, turned it into the Hulk. Confuses the fuck out of everybody trying to read about the Marvel past. You pricks. Anyway. Bring me the newspapers. The ads, the posters, I want to check them. We must make sure to play to a sellout show. So the ringmaster is going to hypnotize everyone in the audience. Jonas says, come on, let's go to the fucking circus. Betty Brant's like, come on, you want to take me to the circus with your stupid blue blazer and your fucking yellow shirt? Let's all go to the circus tonight. Everybody's going to the fucking circus. Spider-Man's been said he's going to headline the circus. So, of course, he shows up to do some shit. He's up there with the ringmaster. He's hanging upside down. He's fucking with the crowd. But then the ringmaster's going to turn around and use his hypnotic devices on all the people in the circus. If he did that here in Florida, he wouldn't make a lot of money because all the cheap people go to the circus and they don't want to buy nothing. But back in the day, in the 60s, the circus was exciting. The circus was alarming. The circus was a spectacle. I think they've been protecting a lot more of the animals now. But again, Spider-Man and Daredevil fight because they've been hypnotized. But Daredevil, of course, is blind, so the hypnosis doesn't work on him. So they have him and Spider-Man fighting. Spider-Man's evil. They both turn around and say, no, it's the ringmaster. It's Vince McMahon down here. Let's hypnotize this asshole. Let's beat the fuck out of him. All right, rock and roll. The ringmaster's people all come to fight. Daredevil gets under a net, ducks it out. They fuck shit up together. So essentially, they started off as a little bit of a confrontation, which turns into a tag team WWE style matchup. and Spider-Man fucks up the bad guys, throws some fucking barbells around, fucks everybody in the fucking ass, punches them in the fucking face, swings around, beats up the fucking tumblers, goes with tumbling, sits on top of the fucking guy's neck, fucks up a clown or two. I notice there's no clowns here. They shoot the human bullet at him, he misses, the bullet hits somebody else, he swings him around, he fucks, drop kicks, fucking leg drop. 1, 2, 3, it's over. Fucking Ringmaster tries to hypnotize him again. Spider-Man punches him in the fucking face. Red-headed Daredevil's clapping. He's piling up all the fucking bad guys. Everybody's feeling good. He unhypnotizes everybody. Karen fucking Page is a jerk off. Daredevil gives his tickets, his fucking lawyer's card to the guy getting taken away. Betty's probably still mad at me because I didn't take it to the circus. Aunt May is probably waiting to nag me somewhere about dating that Mary Jane chick. The most fun all day I had was fighting for my life. How about that? See the rub? Daredevil appears regularly in his own magazine, and old Spidey will be back with the issue to thrill you as usual. Till then, Stan and Steve and the webhead himself say, always face firm. Baby, shut up. Baby's barking at my neighbors. And this, of course, is the letters section that we'll go through real quick. We always have the rubs. Now, again, you see them advertising the Spider-Man Annual. Their way of just shoving in some of the older stories, some little mini features that didn't make it. They're sitting there, promoting Daredevil's next issue. The Marvel Tales Annual. Oh, we're walking back into the 60s, people. Fantastic Four is all the way up to issue 30. They're the ones leading the charge here. They changed Thor over from Journey to Mystery. We got Tales to Astonish with the Hulk ever since he got discontinued. Strange fucking Tales. Sergeant Fury eventually takes over for Doctor Strange and Strange Tales. Iron Man is what... Oh, they changed it by Iron Man? Or they're calling... I guess they changed over Tales of Suspense? No, that was still Tales of Suspense. They were just calling it Iron Man at that point until they added Captain America. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got to the end. Now, Amazing Spider-Man, number 17, we will save for the next class where Spider-Man tackles the Green Goblin and the Human Torch gets involved and Spider-Man's got to run away because Aunt May has a fucking heart attack, which he has in every fucking issue. I hated, as a kid, I hated issues 17, 18, 19. It's him running away, the fucking Sandman. I always hated these issues. It wasn't their best writing at the tail end of that particular run. Now we have the annual, which we will get to in a second as we get through page 15. Okay, remember, Spider-Man is swung away, swinging through the vines. Peter is caught off guard as Kraven spear tackles him. Spear tackles him. Swinging through the vines, Peter is caught off guard as Kraven spear tackles him. SFX of Kraven spear tackling into Peter, knocking the wind out of him. They will tumble into the center of a stampede. Okay. We see them both tumbling down through branches towards an oncoming stampede below the trees. I mean, 'cause you got to remember your penciler has to draw this. You can't be too crazy, because again, he'll just end up fucking drawing a close-up shot if he doesn't know what to fucking do. Like the swinging through the vines, Peter is caught off guard as Kraven spear tackles him. SFX of Kraven spear tackling Peter, knocking the wind out of him. Always underline your SFX for your letterer so that he cannot complain that you weren't giving him the right notes. Let's worry about the scripting in 1 second. Let's get the layout first. See them both tumbling down through branches towards an oncoming stampede. You see a stampede of just fucking beasts. You know what I mean? Falling into the stampede. We see Kraven smashed, nearly trampled, while Peter eludes an oncoming beast. Falling into the stampede, we see Craven nearly trampled, while Peter eludes an oncoming beast. Craven's got to get fucked up here. Can't just be Peter getting fucked up. We got to see Peter really getting into his powers here, doing some crazy shit. Falling into the stampede, we see Craven nearly trampled. No, we see Craven trampled, not nearly. Craven trampled. A la Mufasa in The Lion King. While Peter eludes an oncoming beast. Jumping over the beasts, Peter lands next to Craven, attempting to help him. As Peter goes to lift him, they are both suddenly swept up and off their feet by a giant oncoming dinosaur like beast. I want to have that Henry Ducard like ending where Peter like helps him, and remember how Bruce Wayne helps Liam Neeson. He saves him from falling over the fucking cliff and then kind of leaves his body. We're gonna tease that, but Craven's gonna die. I need that. Tell me his name, Craig. Tell me his name, Kravinoff. They are both hanging onto the beast as it runs towards a cliff, an edge. They're both hanging onto the beast as it runs towards an edge. Let's leave this. Move that to the next page. Just need to script it. A knight's death. A warrior's death. Or we just leave Craven trampled like Mufasa. Nah, that's a cheesy death. You want to tease the death here, and then they get smashed by another monster together. Like Craven's trampled first, and then they're both hanging on to the beast as it run towards an edge. The beast stops short by the cliff edge. No, the beast skids by the cliff edge, sending Peter and Craven flying over. The beast skids by the cliff edge, sending Peter and Craven flying over. Okay. Peter grabs onto a protruding branch. Peter grabs onto a protruding branch. Craven then grabs onto Peter's neck, yanking him hard enough to break the branch. They both go tumbling, not tumbling. They both, they're both choking each other, grappling as they plummet down the cliff. Peter turns at the right time, and Craven takes the full brunt of the rock edges at the bottom, breaking every bone in his body. SFX of all the bones and parts cracking and breaking. Yeah, I like that. In a brilliant splash panel, Peter turns at the right time. Craven takes the full brunt of the rock edges at the bottom. Just they're fucking falling together. Like Peter is grabs onto the branch. They go over the fucking cliff. You know, the monster that smashes both of them. Remember, Craven just got fucking trampled Mufasa style, but he's not dead yet, but he's like fucking, you know what I mean? So Peter's going to help him. He's trying to do the right thing. And he swings over to help. Boom! They get fucking swatched up, right? They get fucking slammed up. So this fucking monster's running like King Kong and he fucking skids over to the fucking side of the cliff. They go flying over the fucking cliff. Peter grabs a fucking protruding branch and then Craven grabs Peter by the neck and he fucking says, fuck you, you come with me. Yanks him down. The branch breaks. They go flying down, but Peter turns at the right time. Fucking smash, crack, 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 crack. Breaks every fucking bone in his body. Just miserable. I love it. In a brilliant splash panel, Peter turns at the right time and Craven takes the full brunt of the rock edges at the bottom, breaking every bone in his body. SFX of all the bones and parts cracking and breaking. And we end this panel with Peter stands over the broken and dying Craven. Oh! Love it. Peter stands over the broken. It would be poetic, wouldn't it? The hunter finally hunted down, helpless. I'll give you a knight's death, a warrior's death. I want the name. I like that. I like it a lot. I like it! Unless we move things up a little. Instead of them hanging on to a beast, they could be like fucking tail swatted. I mean, why is a beast gonna run towards a cliff, you know? As Peter goes to lift them, they are both suddenly swept up and off their feet by a giant oncoming dinosaur-like beast. Is that what we want there? We did both pages, right? This is 15 and 16. We just got to write the script for it. So the pages are laid out. We got to write the script. Swinging through the vines, Peter is caught off guard as Craven spear tackles him. Where do we leave off in our stories? Remember, he's writing to Ben. He's writing a journal to Ben. Oddly enough, in this moment, as I finally understood, I was truly gifted and not cursed, and that's what finally killed my fear. It was in that moment that I finally wanted to come home. I just had one more loose end. Let's take a look at the annual. Let's just go through our comics right now. Our assignment today, the readings assignment for last night. And the annual's big. It's a lot of pages. By the time we're done with the annual, I feel what we'll have. Plus, this is a Spider-Man reflecting on his first 16 adventures. Well, 17 if you count Amazing Fantasy. So it's kind of a good culmination. Is like they're celebrating the first successful year of selling Spider-Man comics, 1964. Good Lord, that was. I'm 47. That'd be 58 years ago. No, wait, no. God, more than 58 years ago. I'm 47. I was born in 1977. So add 13 years. Yeah, 57. 60. Very high. The Sinister Six. Can Spider-Man save the two people he loves most in the world from the deadly Sinister Six? 41 pages of story. Let's just agree this year. They talk about Dr. Octopus again. They just keep letting this motherfucker out. They give him back his dangerous weapon. Or he has, no, they took it off him and he had a mental connection. Eventually they had it like kind of, I don't ever like the fact that he could take it off. It should be attached to him unless we're playing like a Bond villain thing. But I feel like it's more of a curse if they're stuck with him. If he's stuck with them, it's more of a curse to the character of how he has to. Otherwise, if he's just a regular fucking dude that could just call upon the fucking octopus suit, I don't know. I don't know. What they do here with the what you kind of love with the annual is this is their way of literally throwing in every fucking character, every character. I was passing through a borrow paper. I love to read your editorials. They're much funnier than the comic strips. If Peter's fucking with J. Jonah, Thor comes flying by, and it's their way of giving him a rub, every one of them, right? Oh boy, it's only Thor hurtling by. Boy, that guy really cooks up a storm when he gets going. Didn't even see me. I don't know about you, but I want to get through this fast because I want to get back to the writing part. We're just trying to get a little inspiration here. You know, everybody gets started. They all get together and say, look, individually, Spider Man is basically fucked up every single one of us. Somebody's walking by, he's giving Spider Man a little tingle. I think that's Craven kind of walking by. Flash is looking for trouble. He wants to fight Peter. Peter's like, you know what, Flash, you're a pain in the ass. But Dr. Strange's astral fucking ghost is walking by the streets. Have you lads nothing better to do than engage in common street brawls? Fighting is the last resort of the ignorant. Do not be alarmed, it is only my ectoplasmic spirit form. It is just Marvel giving Doctor Strange the rub. So Spider-Man he changes into, he's got a... Oh no, that's the Sandman walking over a sand grate. I always love that they did that. Like he walks over a sewage grate and then kind of turns into sand, slips out of his clothes. I mean, that'd be kind of cool if they said he was naked underneath. Would have been really awkward, like that Jessica Alba awkward in Fantastic Four. The movie is so bad they just keep saying people just want to see Jessica Alba maybe naked. Aunt May lists Uncle Ben. They replay Ben's death in Marvel Annual #1. Again, it's a lot of reflection, a lot of flashbacks. It's just trying to get people that didn't jump in on Amazing Spider-Man 1. And they say, well, you're 16 issues in. I don't know if I want to go buy all the back issues. So they throw this in here. And of course, they'll have the Fantastic Four flying by. They're giving everybody the rub. That's what the annuals were for. Give somebody the rub. Give them the rub. Spider-Man's getting a little scared. And he realizes that the Sinister Six is getting together and trying to fuck everything up. The Vulture, the Sandman, Mysterio, Craven. Now we're killing Craven here, so it's good that we're looking at him. And again, when you're a kid, you got to pick your favorite villain back in the day. McDonald's was working with fucking Marvel. They would have done Sinister Six cups. You would have had to collect all six and the Spider-Man cup. Oh, that would have worked. They all decide, but this is so fucking stupid. They get together as the Sinister Six and they decide to set up a gauntlet instead of trying to just jump Spider-Man all together, doing like a 6-on-1. Like if this was a porno movie, he would bang every one of them fucking one at a time, and then they all get together, get mad at him for fucking fooling and fucking with him, and instead they'd all gangbang him. I know I'm a twisted fucking. I got problems. So the Sinister Six gets together and kidnaps Betty Brant and Aunt May, who just so happen to be fucking Peter Parker's closest fucking people. The fucking Vulture comes over and says, "Look, guys, dickheads. They know that he was willing to fight for Betty Brant before. So Spider-Man's got to show up. He calls the Fantastic Four. They say, look, we're fucking doing shit here. Fucking Captain America's, look, they're all out of town. I don't know what you want to fucking, what do we tell you? The X-Men are fucking, they're all just kind of thrown in here. Human Torch, it's for Spider-Man. Ignore it. It does not concern us. Continue your training program. So the X-Men's like, fuck the humans. He says, look, it's me. I got to do it. I'm Spider-Man. I got to run the gauntlet. And if you look, what was kind of cool when they did this was, in terms of art, they really let Steve Ditko kind of do his thing. And every piece of this Sinister Six gauntlet, this plays out like a video game, essentially. This is a video game. This is Spider-Man's got to fight all 6 members, 6 different levels of fighting. He fights fucking Electro in the fucking electric grid. Each one of them gets the fucking really cool splash page of him knocking every one of them out. And he says, okay. He comes by, fucking Tony Stark's flying by, say, hey, how you doing, Iron Man? It just shows that this vast, beautiful, large, gigantic Marvel universe exists all together. And giving each other the rubs. Buy our comic books, buy our comic books. I do the same thing. I got 4 titles, and you tell everybody about the other titles and the other titles. Fantastic Four's like, fuck off, J. Jonah Jameson. He's got to go fight some fucking cheetah, so we know what's next. Craven! So what are we going to say here? Craven the Hunter. So Spider-Man, we meet again. And this time the hunter shall get his prey with the aid of my 2 little pets. They're circling me, about to attack me at one time, from all 3 directions. He's got to fight. He's got to fight. And of course, we get our splash page. Spider-Man fighting Cravens. This is level 2 of the video game. You must rescue Betty Brant and Aunt May. So we want to look at this scene because I just want to get some of Craven's dialogue. If we can use it in this death scene. With every nerve tingling, every sense owned to a razor-sharp edge, the most amazing human fighting machine the world has ever known goes into action with dazzling speed and surging power. Miss me. All 3 of you, that does it, Craven. You had your chance. With Spider-Man, there aren't any second tries. He's holding off my pest with that blasted webbing of his. I've got to escape while I can. Running off so soon, Craven. Hope I haven't bored you too much. But now that the fight has gone out of your 2 little pussycats, what's he up to now? I've never seen anyone move so fast or fight so savagely. He's like a whirlwind unleashed. See, again, it's when we read this shit. You can't leave yet, Gunga Din. You still have something of mine. Don't press your luck, Spider-Man. If I ever get my hands on you, I'll worry about that when the other time comes. Like never. But first, I'll take the card which has the next address on it. So if you were a video game designer, all you would need to do for your ultimate project is take Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1 and just set up a really cool like video game demo based on this. All the Sinister Six members have keys. He's got to fucking steal a key from each one of them or unlock a piece of a map from each villain he defeats, puts the fucking thing together. I mean, if you could really fucking Grand Theft Auto this and you could beat them all in different orders. You never know. Quickly, my pets, while his back is turned. So he doesn't beat the... Why does he knock Craven unconscious? See, I didn't like this. I thought he knocked Craven out. I remember reading it over again. It was all psychosomatic, brought on by a deep-rooted feeling of guilt due to Uncle Ben's death. The cycle of flame. Human Torch comes over and says, dude, what's going on? This is them giving Human Torch the rub, saying, come on, dude, read Strange Tales. Please, please, God, read Strange Tales. He's like, look, Torch, I ain't got fucking time for you. I got shit to do. He says, look, well, come on, let's team up. Let's tag team you and me. He goes, sorry, buddy, it's my fucking magazine. It's a solo issue. So now Dr. Octopus is being cool. He's commenting on the X-Men. Turns out the X-Men are a bunch of fucking robots. He's got to beat up the fucking robots. And who's coming in to fight fucking next? Mysterio and the robots. We get our splash page. Spider-Man fucking beats on Mysterio. Mysterio fights back. He's no fucking puss. They fucking set shit on fire. Next piece of the fucking puzzle. Jonah's walking around. He sees a fucking spider. He gets fucking scared. We got ball bearings. Sandman's here. All of a sudden they give Sandman a fucking stamina chart here because apparently now he's tired. They're fighting inside a box. He's running out of fucking oxygen. He's turning it over. He's getting tired. Spider-Man gets the next address. Jonah's flipping out. Fucking Aunt May. Betty Brant. The Vulture comes in. He's got a fucking beat on the Vulture with his fucking wings, spinning them all around, trying to take him out. Loosens his fucking arms, swings up in the sky, smashes the Grouch in his stupid fucking green costume, big ass splash page, jumps over him, breaks a fucking Mulkin nerve pinch, ties him up to the fucking post up his fucking ass. Dr. Octopus is the final member. He's got the castle. He's got a castle? The hell did he go? I gotta go back a few panels here. A few hundred yards away, he said, this is my final destination, an old castle, imported to this country stone by stone. Oh, I love castles. Oh, okay, good. We're gonna have a fucking showdown in a castle. Well, not yet. We'll show Dr. Octopus at the end of our comic book. We'll show Dr. Octopus sitting in his fucking castle. I like that. I've been expecting you. She's the aunt of a teenager who knows Betty. She's got nothing to do with you. Why did you bring her here? And don't pull that innocent routine on me, said the fucking arms are coming for him. I never liked the arms without him. He's got to have the arms attached to him. It's got to be part of his cursedness. It's got to be what makes him a monster. Dr. Octopus jumps into the tank. Here we go. They fight under fucking water in a big fucking fishbowl. He gets all the nets going, tangles them all up, saves the fucking day, ladies and gentlemen. Spider-Man gets out of there. Gets the hell out of there. Peter Parker and the cops. Aunt May looking old and annoying. They come on in. You're the greatest. Oh, shit. I love you ladies. Let's have a fucking three-way. He's got ulcers. And then the Sinister Six, all sitting in jail. And that's that. Just between us, we're glad we have a full year till our next Spidey annual. It'll take us that long to rest up from doing this one. And they show you a little rogues gallery. A new era in comicdom was born with the introduction of the Chameleon. The title Amazing Fantasy was changed to The Amazing Spider-Man and Spidey fought his first colorful spooper foe. That's why he's going to be the main villain of our graphic novel. To this day, no one has ever learned the true identity of the man who could transform himself into anybody. So successful is the Chameleon's power of disguise that he almost convinced the police that he was Spider-Man during their first unforgettable encounter. The Vulture, the Terrible Tinkerer, Dr. Octopussy, the Sandman, Doctor Doom, the Lizard, the Living Brain, Electro, the Enforcers. See, I might use the Enforcers. They're kind of like good throwaways. Spider-Man could fuck them up in the middle of our story villains. Reading from top to bottom, we present the Ox, ex-circus strongman with the mind of a child. Montana, the Western rope wizard who can make his lasso do everything but talk. Fancy Dan, whose small side belies the speed and accuracy of his potent judo and karate blows. Them all together and you have a team of criminals no crime fighter would ever dare to ever turn his back upon. The big man, although possessing no special powers of his own, was a master criminal who organized the enforcers, thus, to his subsequent regret. Mysterio, the Green Goblin, Kraven the Hunter. Now here is one character who's every bit as dangerous as he looks. Kraven has hunted and defeated every wild beast known to man, and accomplished that feat alone and unharmed. His speed rivals that of a cheetah, and his savagery and strength are in class by themselves. Thus we have Kraven the Hunter, whose one burning desire is to lure Spider-Man into the jungle and achieve a final victory over his youthful foe. The secrets of Spider-Man. This can actually help us when we get to the lab, because we're coming up on the scene now. In pages 15 and 16, we've just shown up we're killing Kraven. So when we get together for pages 17 and 18, we'll get Spider-Man back to Empire City, reunion with Ben, and they're going to dust off Richard and Mary's old laboratory and start building the spider shooters and the spider suit and the utility belt. And fuck yeah. That's the third act. We're done with the second act here as we kill Kraven. The third act is him going home, getting his suit together with Alfred, aka Ben, and going off on his first fucking fuck somebody up adventure here, which we can use the Enforcers. We can use the Enforcers as the first people he's got to take out. That could be cool. Here's more proof, as if you need it, that when the gang and the Marvel bullpen get together to bring you an annual, they sure don't spare the horses. Featuring inside facts about Spidey's powers, his problems, and his personal life, as only Stan and Steve can present them. Everything you want to know about Spidey is on the pages that follow. The amazing, almost legendary career of the youth. All right, we know this shit. Yeah, but let's have fun. Let's be patient. Had its beginning some time ago in the Science Hall of Midtown High School, where a demonstration of radioactivity was taking place. In our storyline, the parents are experimenting on animal specimens with the super soldier serum. No one at the exhibition noticed a tiny spider descending on a thin strand of web, the spider which fate had chosen to absorb a fantastic amount of radioactivity at the precise moment that Peter Parker walked by. In sudden shock, the dying insect bought the nearest living thing, a split second before the life faded from its body. And that nearest living thing was the lad who has later become the world's most exciting teenager. And almost every magazine reader throughout the free world knows by now, it was that bite which so affected the chemical balance in Peter's blood, and changed him into the Amazing Spider-Man. And let us carefully examine the powers which Spider-Man possesses as Spider-Man. All right, let's learn what he can do. He's got huge strength. Having the proportionate strength of a spider, Spider-Man is one of the most powerful superheroes. Only the Thor, the Thing, and the Hulk have greater strength. We must remember that Peter Parker is still a teenager, not quite fully reached his maturity yet. Interesting. One of Spider-Man's most valuable assets is his clinging ability. Like a human spider, his hands and feet support him against the pull of gravity, as though they were thousands of tiny suction cups. No matter how smooth a surface may be, no matter how high or how precarious it may be, any area that an actual spider can cling to can also sport the amazing teenage adventurer. Perhaps as remarkable as his clinging ability itself is the ease in which he can use it. There is never a hint of strain, difficulty in his clinging to walls or ceilings. In fact, he is just as much at home on any surface as an actual spider would be. Some of the magnificent poses of Spider-Man traversing walls and ceilings, which Steve Ditko has illustrated, have already reached the status contemporary classics. You can't argue with that. Among the most nimble of all adventurers, Spider-Man's leaping ability also deserves mention. He is able to leap the width of an average city street and can attain a height of 3 stories with one spider-powered spring. With his assumption of the proportionate strength of a spider, it is only natural for the costumes of the Crusader to possess the uncanny balancing ability of the wonderful arachnids as well. Suffice it is to say that Amazing Spider-Man is easily the greatest balancer of any human being on Earth. Oh, see, we have that shot. We used that shot when he's doing that off the cliff. I like that. We did that. Marvel's Merry Madman are exceptionally proud of Steve Ditko's superb portrayal of Spider-Man in action, drawn especially to demonstrate his ability and agility and his almost unbelievable powers of coordination. As a fast-moving, quick-thinking acrobatic stuntman, the old web spinner is undeniably without peer. Just as sensational Steve as tops the presenting Spider-Man. All right, they're just showing off Steve Ditko, which again is nice. We're just trying to learn a little bit of what we can do here with our characterization. Fortunately for Peter Parker and the world at large, the amazing teenager is a brilliant science student. He has devoted long hours of study to learning everything he can about spiders. Although it is not a matter of public knowledge, he is probably the world's greatest authority on the subject of webs and their creation. His web-making ability is one of his most closely guarded secrets. Though he can tell you, he makes his own web fluid under the most exacting conditions in the lab, storing it in small, compact cylinders, like a miniature toothpaste tubes. And he's Spider-Man. See, we need this. We actually need this for the next issue. So I'm glad we got here. He's going to be building this in his parents' old lab with the help of Uncle Ben. We have our little montage of him building the suit and the shooters. We got to lead him up to going off on his first mission. I don't want to just throw a random thug in there. I'm thinking maybe use the enforcers. Maybe we use the enforcers. We fuck the enforcers up. Good. As any web... What do I go on here? As any Spider-Man reader knows, Spidey's web shooter is worn at his wrist and activated by the slightest touch of his finger upon the super-sensitive electrode located on the palm of his hand. Inasmuch as his webbing is the most potent weapon, the masked adventurer always carries spare web fluid capsules clipped onto his ingeniously designed utility belt. By adjusting the nozzle of his web shooter in one easy motion, Spidey can eject his web fluid in any one of 3 different ways. Incredibly strong line, quick spread, a tremendously adhesive liquid. So, they're just using the Fantastic Four to show you what else you can do with it. It's very tensile, the thing. Hold him for life. It doesn't burn. It can be stretched, and it disappears like the Invisible Girl. He can use it as a shield, a parachute, a safety net, sticky glue, a bowl, a club, a raft, skis. All right, we need all this. This is all the shit we're going to be using for when he finally goes out and starts having his fucking Spider-Man adventures. Another of Spider-Man's amazing powers ability to sense danger. Invisible, undetectable. His uncanny spider sense alerts him to anything of the ordinary. Fearlessly known humans, only fearlessly Daredevil has senses which are even more highly developed than Spider-Man's. It's like possessing a built-in radar unit. Even if blindfolded, Spidey's instincts guide him unerringly. Even in total darkness, he is never helpless, thanks to his spider sense. It's like having eyes in the back of your head. Spidey is almost impossible to ambush from behind. This is a lot. Oh, they're just showing you, it's kind of a really cool how-to guide if you've never read Spider-Man before. They're showing the lines show that when he's basically his spider sense is going off. They show that his eyelids are clear so you can't see in, but he can see out. The costume is very light. It fits under his suit. I don't know if we're going to be doing that sort of thing. I like more of a Batman aspect. It's going to be a lot more high-tech, more stealth. His sleeves, the little case. Okay, they're showing little pinups. And now they're showing you the workplace. This is the office of the Daily Bugle. His classmates. This is you got Flash. You got Peter in the corner there, all the students, Liz Allen. This is Peter's house. Not a bad fucking house since Aunt May's broke. The guest star page. Oh, they're showing everybody that's popped up in the issues. And I always like this. Okay, this is a nice way to end it. Now, Stan Lee and Steve Ditko created Spider-Man. Now, I always love this feature because this is me and Jose Varice. When I started building my business, Me and Jose Barris would call each other literally at 3 o'clock in the morning, come up with crazy ideas. He doesn't sleep, I don't sleep, but we don't sleep conventional hours. And they're showing how like Stan Lee would get nuts. Just for kicks, we'll do 12 panels each to each page. Oh, I love this. What do you mean we? I do the drawing while you practice signing your name all over. Oh, yes. Look, Bubba gave you your first job, taught you how to draw, bought you your first pair of shoes. I don't know who. Wasn't you, Lee. I was a happy man till we teamed up. Now even my ulcers have ulcers. Oh, I love this. This is them literally talking to you how they work. Lee, you're a nut. How can the strip be late? Be 2 weeks late already? You just gave it to me this morning. Oh well, yeah, same to you. And I was drawing Spider-Man at the Statue of Liberty. Oh, go write yourself a dictionary. How come you're always calling me? Hasn't Dick Ayers got a phone? What do you mean corny? I copied them from one of the blast. Oh, I love this. My friend Sam can write better than you, and he's a cocker spaniel. Ha ha! He's probably the one who does your inking. Ha 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 ha. Steve and Stan don't get along. Oh, I love it. Finished, at least they think I'll sleep for a week. And then, at that very moment, a shrill cry of unrestrained excitement pierces the silent midnight air. Wowie, another idea. This one's better than the last. Won't Steve be happy? I better call him right away and break the good news. Naturally, dear friends, we're only kidding, but wait till the next annual. We'll probably have Spidey tell you how he created Stan and Steve. Yes, it's a beautiful thing walking through that world, isn't it? Brought to you by the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. I'm glad we went through that. Now you have your homework tonight. Pages 17 and 18 is Spider-Man going home and dusting off all the shit in Richard and Mary's old lab, hidden under the streets under the Chinese restaurant, and rebuilding, or no, starting to build his arsenal, his costume, his shooters, basically building his AracKnight persona, a la Uncle Ben. Now let's get the dialogue here. We got 12 panels of dialogue to write. Our class isn't over yet. We've read through the annual. We know what we're doing for the next pages. Our pages are laid out already. We got to lay out the next two. But now we need some quick little dialogue here. Peter is always writing in this journal. So he's talking about his adventures. We know he lives because he's the fucking star of the show. So making him live is what makes it interesting. Narration. What was our last line there? Was I just had one more loose end. I know most people aren't able to move on unless they accept some form of closure in their lives. See, this is Peter saying, should I get over my parents' death? I know most people aren't able to move on unless they accept some sort of closure in their life. We see them both tumbling down through the branches towards an oncoming stampede below the trees. And this is Peter arrogantly saying, but I'm not most people. Boom! Falling into the stampede, we see Craven trampled on an SFX. Need more SFX here. SFX of all the branches snapping as they tumble down and through. SFX of the oncoming stampede in below them. All right. But I'm not most people. We got all our SFX there. Falling into the stampede, we see Craven trampled, a la Mufasa and the Lion King, while Peter eludes an oncoming beast. SFX of Craven being trampled. I'm not most people. I'm ready to accept. No, I'm ready to use my powers. I'm ready to use my powers for something other than revenge. Now, because he's saying I got one more loose end. I'm ready to use my powers for good. No. It's cheesy. We don't like cheesy. Falling into the stampede, we see Craven trampled a la Mufasa in The Lion King, while Peter eludes an oncoming beast. SFX of Craven being trampled. But I'm not most people. I intend to pledge myself. I intend to pledge myself towards good. Towards good? Ah! Craven's getting fucking trampled. Shush, baby, shush. Almost there. Then I'll take you to Starbucks. You gotta wait. We're almost done here. Then we go to Starbucks. She's got a pup cup waiting for her. This is her thing she likes to do every day. We got some work to do here, baby. Chill out. Peter narrated. The idea is Peter's writing in a journal. And the idea is the words should match up with some of the action, some sort of metaphor. I know most people aren't able to move on unless they accept some sort of closure in their lives. But I'm not most people. Whatever gifts I have, whatever powers, where do you use them? Whatever gifts I have, whatever powers, I'm ready to use them for something other than adventure. Okay. Whatever gifts I have, whatever powers, I'm ready to use them for something other than adventure. Jumping over the beast, Peter lands next to Craven, attempting to help him. All right, good. Gives us a line about. See, I don't like this. I don't like this line. Whatever gifts I have. It's cheesy. It's a cheesy fucking line. I don't like it. Craven is getting trampled. What would Peter say here that would be poetically entwined to that? You just said I'm not most people, so it's an arrogant statement. It's an arrogant statement. I'm not most people. Most people can't get closure in their life, but I'm not most people. He's saying he's getting closure. If you don't, if you don't stand for a cause, if you don't stand for a cause and plant, oh God, is this cheesy? All right. It's great action. We've written great action here on this fucking 2 pages. I'm just trying to describe the action. Just need a fucking line, but you got to be meticulous, you know? Falling into the stampede, we see Craven trampled a la Mufasa in The Lion King, while Peter eludes an oncoming beast. SFX of Craven being trampled. Now, again, you can just leave it and just say, fuck it, you don't need a line here. Craven's getting fucking trampled. But I feel like I want a line here. I'm not most people. Just I like a nice little throwaway. You don't take a stand and accept your gifts. The world may just walk all over you. There you go. Quick throwaway line. He's getting trampled, and Peter makes. I always say when someone's getting trampled, you got to make a cool little line about getting walked all over. If you don't take a stand and accept your gifts, the world may just walk all over you. Jumping over the beasts, Peter lands next to Craven, attempting to help him. Even in the face of evil. Even in the face of evil and the anxiety of fear. I won't let that change who I am. Even in the face of evil and the anxiety of fear, I won't let that change who I am. It's basically him saying, I'm still a hero. I can leave Craven and say, fuck him. He is leaping over to help Craven being trampled. Even in the face of evil and the anxiety of fear, I won't let that change who I am. He's a good person. He's even helping the prick that tried to fucking kill him. As Peter goes to lift him, they are both suddenly swept up and off their feet by a giant oncoming monster like the beast. See, now I don't like this. We're going to change this. We're going to change these two panels. Instead of them being swept up by a beast, they should just be smashed by one. Peter. Okay, what just happened in panel 4? If you don't take a stand and accept against the world may just walk all over you. Jumping over the beast, Peter lands next to Craven, attempting to help him. As Peter lifts up Craven, his spider sense goes haywire, almost giving him an aneurysm. As Peter lifts up Craven, his spider sense goes haywire, almost giving it an aneurysm. Eh. No, no, no. Peter jumps down and he goes to help him. As Peter lifts up Craven, his spider sense goes up. They are smashed both. They are both smashed by a large tail swatting them. By a large prehistoric tail swatting. I like that. They are both launched into the air and take out a pterodactyl in the process. Like they literally get fucking launched and they smash into like a flying fucking. Instead of just getting launched outward, they smash into a fucking flying beast. I like that. They're literally used as a baseball. I like that. All right. As Peter lifts up Craven, they're both smashed by a large prehistoric tail swatting them. SFX of them being swatted by a large tail. They both launched the air and take out a pterodactyl in the promised SFX of the pterodactyl being pterodactyl being taken out. SFX of the pterodactyl being taken out. As Peter lifts up Craven, they're both smashed by a large prehistoric tail swatting them. I won't let that change who I am. So Peter can say, with great power comes great. With great power comes great. They're smashed. You know what I mean? With great power comes great. Smashed. They both launch into the air and take out a pterodactyl in the process. With great power comes. Launch into the air, take out a pterodactyl in the process. I don't need a line here. Just literally SFX of the pterodactyl being taken out and the two of them screaming. Nah, no screaming. With great power comes smash. Page 16. All right, got this shit. The beast skids by the cliff edge now. So we can add a shot here of Peter walking away. Plummeting over the edge. Peter grabs. You know what? We're just going to move over here. Plummeting over the edge. Peter grabs onto a protruding branch. Craven then grabs onto Peter's neck, yanking him hard enough to break the branch. They're both choking each other. They're both choking each other, grappling as they plummet down the cliff. In a brilliant splash panel, Peter turns at the right time and Craven takes the full brunt of the rock edges at the bottom, breaking every bone in his body. SFX of the bones parts cracking and breaking. Peter stands over the broken and dying Craven. Six, close up on Craven. Close up on Craven as he expires. Close up on Craven as Peter leaves as he expires. Well, Peter stabs him or leaves a fucking dagger. We'll get to that in a second. Let's get down to the page here. We don't need a line on panel 6. With great power comes grit. You get smashed. They get swatted by a tail. Plummeting over the edge, Peter grabs onto a protruding branch. All right, get some lines here. Because again, you could just describe all this. You know, plummeting over the edge, our hero grabs onto a protruding branch. You know what I'm saying? You could say all that. You can narrate the scene. One thing we've learned by reading through these old Spider-Man comic books is that, again, you could narrate the shit. If you got nothing to say here, then just describe what you're saying in the panel. It's actually not a bad idea. If we go back through, again, we always write a second script if our pages feel like they're too empty. You know what I mean? Because you look at, like, my latest comic book here. Just go and pull this all up here real quick. Like, I like a lot of story. Not too much, that cloud shit, but see, we got a lot of story here. Sometimes it's too much, but again, it dresses up over the art. Then sometimes it's not as crazy. Then sometimes you see how it is. I love story. Page 13, 14, 15. All right, let's get this done. Let's get this bad boy finished. Plummeting over the edge, Peter grabs onto a protruding branch. Craven then grabs onto Peter's neck, yanking him hard enough to break the branch. They're both choking each other, grappling as they plummet down the cliff. In a brilliant splash panel, Peter turns at the right time, and Craven takes the full brunt of the rock edges. We're just going to say all this. Plummeting over the edge, our hero grabs onto a protruding branch. Peter can describe all this. I know this isn't all lip service, because no matter how hard, because no matter how hard the road has taken, I know this isn't all lip service, because no matter how hard the road is taken, the one thing I now have, the one thing I now have that I lost all those years ago was the will to live. Peter then grabs onto Craven then grabs onto Peter's neck, yanking him hard enough to break the branch. It was the will to live. I gave up all those years ago, but realized that I didn't die along with my parents. But realized that I didn't die along with my parents. That I didn't die along. Ugh. I know this isn't all lip service because no matter how hard the road, no matter how the road, God damn it. I know this isn't all lip service because no matter how hard the road is taken, it's a little expression, no matter how hard the road is taken hard. The only thing I now have that I lost all those years ago was the will to live. But I didn't die that night with my parents. He's having this moment, you know? The only thing I now have that I lost all those years ago was the will to live. But I didn't die that night with my parents. And Craven grabs him. SFX of the branch snapping. Craven then grabs. I don't plan on dying now. But I didn't die that night with my parents, and I don't plan on dying now. Boom. They're both choking each other, grappling as they plummet down the cliff. Don't plan on dying now. SFX and the branch snapping. They're both choking each other, grappling as they plummet down the cliff. I am a master of science. I am a student of science. I am a spawn of the spider. I am a student of science. I am a spawn of the spider. I'm a big fan of wrestling. I am a student of science. I am a spawn of the spider. I'm a big fan of wrestling. In a brilliant splash panel, Peter turns at the right time and Craven takes the full brunt of the. See, this line fits better here. Yeah. We're gonna move this line over here. Now, I am a student of science. I am a spawn of the spider, and I'm a big fan of wrestling. Then he turns it in a brilliant splash panel. Peter turns at the right time, and Craven takes the full brunt of the rock edges at the bottom, breaking every bone in his body. SFX of all the bones and parts cracking and breaking. There you go. Peter stands over a broken and dying Craven, and he says, "It would be poetic, wouldn't it? The hunter finally hunted down, helpless, In a brilliant splash panel, Peter turns at the right time, and Craven takes the full brunt of the rock edges at the bottom, breaking every bone in his body. SFX of all the bones and parts cracking and breaking. Peter stands over the broken and dying Craven. It would be poetic, wouldn't it? The hunter finally hunted down. Helpless. It would be poetic, wouldn't it? The hunter finally hunted down. Helpless. A feast for crows. A feast for predators. Peter stands over the broken and dying Craven. We don't need lines on panel 4, that's a waste. I want a lot of cacophony. Use a lot of SFX here. Symbolize so every bone breaking. Not to waste, because again, you could throw lines in here to dress it up, but you don't need it. That should be Craven's death blow. That should be the only sound. Crack, 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 and fucking smash, you know? It'd be poetic, wouldn't it? The hunter finally hunted down. Helpless. I'll give you a knight's death, a warrior's death. I can leave you here, Kravenov. Feast for the crows. Or I can give you a warrior's death. Knight's death. Be poetic, wouldn't it? The hunter finally hunted down. Helpless. I can leave you here, Craven. A feast for the crows, a feast for crows, not for the crows. A feast for crows. Or I can give you a warrior's death, a knight's death, if you follow the code. I want the name. What is his name? Close up on Craven as he expires. With his dying breath, he says the name. Dimitri. And dies. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. Page 15 and 16, end of Act 2. Craven dies right there in front of Spider-Man. Dimitri. Craven sells out his own kid, but it's a warrior's code. I give you a warrior's death, a knight's burial. Or I can give you a warrior's death, a knight's burial, if you follow the code. I want the name. What is his name? Dimitri. And dies. Boom. Craven is dead. Homework class is over. Let's lay out pages 17 and 18. So we set up for tomorrow, and I'll give you your homework. Your homework, of course, is to play around with 17 and 18, decide what you want to do with your script as we write our master script together. Ben is reading Peter's journal. As he returns home, Ben walks in, and Peter is now back in Empire City, having been gone a year or two. We'll give it a nice stretch of time. Peter and Ben will make a plan and go dust off his parents' old lab. We will have a montage of Peter and Ben building and crafting the spider suit, all black, maybe some silver trim. Get fancy. The web shooters and web fluid, and the utility belt. For Spider-Man's first mission to introduce himself to Empire City, where are we? He will take on the Enforcers. Need a good fucking squash match, but colorful. I don't want to just do Thug 1, Burglar 1. Spider-Man versus Ox. Spider-Man. Now, again, we might do it this way, we might not. Montana. Spider-Man versus Fancy Dan. We get our moment where he will first say, "Who are you?" "I'm Spider-Man." Now, again, it may go this way, it may not go this way. We're just doing a layout for you to play around with your homework. I know we want to get to at least, I mean, at most page 24, where we say, what the hell are you? I'm Spider-Man. We might get there on page 18, we might not. But we know, looking at page 17 and 18, Peter is coming home. We've ended Act 2. He's killed Craven. He's gotten the name of his parents' killer. The next piece of the mystery comes in. He's going to go back to Empire City now and fuck some shit up. But he's got to build a suit. And Uncle Ben's got to become his Alfred. And they got to make a plan, which will again eventually show with Peter showing up to Now Magazine, working for J. Jonah Jameson as a fashion photographer, lifestyle photographer, that kind of thing. And maybe a little romance with Betty Brant. Maybe Liz Allen, you never fucking know. Anyway, that is our class today, ladies and gentlemen. We've laid out 17 and 18. We've written 15 and 16. Your homework, of course, is Amazing Spider-Man 17 and 18. I'm not a fan of those issues, but again, we're going to use them to keep our story pushing along. And that is it. Remember, buy onto the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. Keep me in the lifestyle I'm accustomed to. Peace, love, war, all that shit in between.